I heard it this time. I heard it last time too, but right, let's kick off this evening. Let's get this show on the road. Now, have you ever walked into a room of successful people and thought, what am I even doing here? Or maybe you've hit a major milestone in your business or maybe in your career, but instead of celebrating, you're waiting for someone to tap you on the shoulder and say, we made a mistake. You don't actually belong here. Now, if that sounds familiar, you are not alone, okay? Here is an interesting fact for you. Did you know that 82% of individuals have experienced imposter syndrome at some point in their lives? 82%. That means most of us at one time or another have felt like we do not deserve our achievements or that we will be exposed as frauds. But here's the thing. You are not an imposter. And in this session, we're going to be diving into imposter syndrome. That sneaky voice in your head that whispers, you're not good enough, or you just got lucky, or soon they'll find out that you're a fraud. The thing is, you didn't just get lucky, okay? Let me tell you this now. You work for your success, okay? You work for your success. You belong in the spaces where you are. You have earned it, okay? And today, through all the points I'm going to talk about, we're going to prove that. Now, you know how I like it. You know how I do it. I'm going to say some numbers and I'm going to ask you to drop it in the chat because I love interaction. The more interaction you give me, the better you get from me. Okay, so drop a one in the chat if you're ready to find out if imposter syndrome is holding you back and shame is straight out of the gate. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I see those ones coming through. And drop a two in the chat if you're ready to find out how to shut it down and take back your confidence. And I see those twos coming in there. Joanne, Simon, Morgan. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I love it. Now, before I continue, let me introduce myself. My name is Michelle Jenny, and I am here to motivate you. So, confidence on, doubt off. Let's go. Now, I'm a business coach, I'm an identity mentor, a serial entrepreneur, and an award winning motivational speaker. But it hasn't always been this way. There was a time when I was overworked and overwhelmed, when I was a people pleaser. You see, on the outside, it looked like I had it all going on, but I was living in constant self doubt and worried that people would find out I wasn't as good as they thought. But I got the help I needed. I did self love. I did self development. I networked. I invested in me and I started moving in the right circles. So now I help others. I help you to discover your true self. I help to shift your mindset, to build up your self esteem and your confidence so you can go on to achieve your goals and build thriving businesses and careers. Now, you could choose to pay attention over the next 30 minutes or so. That is, of course, your choice. I recommend that you do pay attention. And if you can, minimize distractions and listen with an open mind. Now, if you are anything like me, you're going to want to grab a pen and some paper because you are going to want to take some notes. The note takers are the money makers. Okay, so with that being said, let's kick it off. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define imposter syndrome. Now, what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome refers to a psychological pattern, where individuals often doubt their accomplishments. They have a persistent fear of being exposed as a fraud. Now, even though there's evidence of their competence, success, and skills, right? So people experiencing imposter syndrome often put their achievements down to luck. okay? Or maybe they will say it's external factors rather than acknowledging their own abilities or their own efforts. Now, drop a one in the chat. Drop a one in the chat if you've ever felt like you are not as competent as people think you are. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I see those ones coming through, and I have felt that way in the past as well. Now let's figure out, do you actually have imposter syndrome? Now, people with imposter syndrome, they often experience feeling like a fraud. They worry that people will find out that they're not as smart or as capable as they think. They attribute success to luck. So instead of recognizing your skills, you're assuming you just got lucky, or maybe you were in the right place at the right time. You often have a fear of failure. So you may hesitate to take on new challenges because you don't want to fail or you don't want to show that you are incompetent, okay? Often they will overwork to compensate. Used to do that all the time. Overwork to compensate. You feel the need to work twice as hard to prove that you belong, okay? Imposter syndrome, people often compare themselves to others as well. So you always think that others are smarter than you, or you think that others are more talented than you, or maybe they're more deserving than you. That's a thought that's playing over and over in your head. And finally, people that suffer with imposter syndrome, they often dismiss praise. So when people compliment you, you feel uncomfortable, or you think maybe they're just being nice to me. Now, drop a two in the chat if any of those, if any of those resonate with you. If any of those resonate with you, Morgan says I'm talking directly to her, and I see those twos. Louisa, Shane, Morgan coming through. Rosalind, amazing. I see those two. So this evening we're gonna work through these and get rid of these feelings. Okay. So now we know what imposter syndrome is. We know the signs of imposter syndrome as well, right? So now what we need to figure out is how to shut imposter syndrome down once and for all. So that is what we are going to go through now. So the first way to shut imposter syndrome down is reframe your thoughts, right? I need you to shift the narrative in your mind, because one of the biggest reasons imposter syndrome keeps you stuck is because of the way you talk to yourself. So your mind constantly feeds you negative thoughts. So I need you to shift your perspective by recognizing that imposter syndrome is a thought pattern and not a reality. It's all in your mind. It's a thought pattern and not a reality. So I want that when you have these thoughts coming into your mind, I would like you to replace them with empowering truths. So take that negative thought and flip it into a positive thought, right? So replace thoughts like I don't belong with I am learning and growing in this space, right? If you have a thought like, um, I only got lucky, that's why I'm here. Replace that thought with my skills, my effort, and my experience got me here, right? So, what is really important here is to acknowledge your achievements with facts rather than emotion. So, drop a one in the chat. Drop a one in the chat if you know you need to start to reframe your thoughts. You need to start to feed yourself with positive affirmations every time you get one of those negative niggles or negative Nancy thoughts in your brain. And if there are any Nancy's on the call, I apologize. You're not a negative Nancy. But just in case you're having any of those negative thoughts, you need to be able to reframe. The second thing I want to say is keep a success journal so you can track your wins and silence self-doubt. Okay, so a success journal, I have a success jar. So every time I have a win, I write it down, I put it inside my jar, and then I can go through my jar at any point in time when I'm feeling down. Okay, so one of the biggest struggles with imposter syndrome is forgetting or downplaying your achievements instead of recognizing your hard work, right? So as I said, track your accomplishments. Whatever win you have, whatever it is, track it, write it down. Notarize it, do something, but make sure you have it in somewhere that you can look back at some point in time, right? Write down your compliments, write down any positive feedback that you're getting, because when self-doubt creeps in, you will be able then to go back and review your wins. It doesn't matter how big or small they are, and remind yourself of your capabilities, right? And this helps you to build confidence and provides you with actual proof of your skills. Now, why this works is it stops negative self talk. So instead of focusing on what you didn't do, it helps you to see what you did do. Okay. And it helps you to build confidence because when imposter syndrome creeps in, you can then look back at your journal and see proof that you are skilled and you are deserving. And most importantly, I'm very big on mindset. It shifts your mindset. You stop looking for reasons why you don't belong and you start seeing the reasons why you do belong. So drop a two in the chat. If this resonates with you. Drop a two in the chat if you're going to go buy yourself a journal tomorrow and start writing down and tracking your successes so that you can read them back. And I see those twos coming in there. Amazing, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about it. When imposter syndrome sets in, talk about it and seek support because imposter syndrome thrives in silence. Okay? And one of the biggest reasons why imposter syndrome feels so powerful is because we don't talk about it. And we don't talk about it because we are assuming that we are the only ones feeling that way. While in reality, like I said earlier, up to 82% of people have experienced imposter syndrome at some point in time in their lives. This means the people you admire, those successful entrepreneurs, those movie stars, those celebrities, those executives, they have felt the exact same way that you do too, okay? The difference, they talk about it. They seek support, right? And they learn how to manage it. So get yourself a mentor, get yourself a coach, become a member of thriving communities, okay? Because imposter syndrome only has power over you if you stay silent. I must say that again for the people in the back that didn't hear the first time. Imposter syndrome only has power over you if you stay silent. The moment you talk about it, you weaken its grip and you open up the door for encouragement, for perspective, and for growth. So drop a three in the chat for me. Drop a three in the chat if you know you need to go and talk about your imposter syndrome. You need to get a mentor. You need to get a coach. You need to join some groups and join some communities of people, and people that you can trust and that you can speak to. And I can see Morgan says, if you must, Morgan. That's the whole point. You must. End of it. You must do it. Okay. Morgan hates talking. Huh? Well, you must talk about it. That's how you're gonna get over it. The next point we're going to say is embrace progress over perfection because done is better than perfect. Now, one of the biggest drivers of imposter syndrome is perfectionism. If you constantly feel like your work isn't good enough or that you need to achieve flawless results before taking action, maybe you're stuck in that perfectionism trap, okay? And that is what is holding you back. Now, here's the thing perfectionism is an illusion. End of. Perfectionism is an illusion. The most successful people in the world don't succeed because they're perfect. They succeed because they take action. They succeed because they learn and they improve along the way. It's simple. Start where you are. Okay. So launch a simple version first. So, for instance, if you're looking to launch a business, just launch it. Launch a simple version and improve it based on feedback, right? Take action before you fully feel ready because nobody is ever 100% ready. Nobody. And remind yourself that progress leads to success. Perfection does not, okay? Perfection is the enemy of progress. The more you chase perfection, the more you're going to delay success, okay? Instead, take messy action. Learn from your mistakes and grow as you go. So drop a 4 in the chat if you're going to take some messy action. Take messy action. Just do it. Just, what's his name? Richard Branson. He says it. Screw it. Just do it. Right? That's the philosophy I want you guys to take. Just get it done. It needs to be done. I see those 4s coming in. Morgan, he said, screw it. Just do it. That's what he says. Screw it. Just do it. You're welcome, Morgan. You're welcome. Now, I also want you to rewire your inner voice. Transform self-doubt into self-belief. Okay, one of the reasons why imposter syndrome sticks around is because of the way you talk to yourself. That little voice, we're going to talk about the negative Nancy's again. That little voice in your head is shaping your reality. If you don't change the conversation running through your mind, imposter syndrome will continue to control your confidence. Now, the good news is you can reprogram your thoughts. Yeah, you can train your brain to believe in yourself. Just like a bad habit, negative talk can be replaced with empowering beliefs that push you forward instead of holding you back. It's simple. Your thoughts need an upgrade. Start with affirmations. I am so big on affirmations. Start on affirmations. Your thoughts need an upgrade. It's time to stop letting imposter syndrome control your inner voice and start speaking to yourself like the confident person you are and the successful person that you are becoming. Say it in the mirror. I am successful. What are you successful at? I am successful in my property business. I am successful in my mentorship business. I am successful in my gardening business. I am successful. That is the point. So drop a 5 in the chat. If you know you need to rewire that inner voice, you need to start telling yourself what you are and who you are and what you can do and how you're being successful. And I see those 5s coming in. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm loving the interaction this evening. Keep going, guys. Keep going with the interaction. Now, the last point I'm going to talk about this evening is take action. Take action despite fear. Confidence comes from doing. Okay. And one of the biggest mistakes people make when dealing with imposter syndrome is waiting until they feel ready before taking action. I'm going to tell you a secret. Write this down. Get your pens and paper out. Write this down. Confidence isn't a prerequisite for action. Confidence is the result of action. Okay. You don't have to be confident in order to take action. You don't have to. Nobody says you have. You don't have to be. You just have to take oxygen. You just have to take action. Okay. It is the result of action. Confidence is the result of action. Now, if you want to overcome imposter syndrome, you must take action before you feel ready. Action is the fastest way to silence imposter syndrome. The more you do, the more you prove to yourself that you belong. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you an action plan. First things first, I want you to identify your imposter thoughts. And I want you to do that by keeping a self-doubt journal. So you're going to have your positivity journal, your positivity jar, but I also want you to have a self-doubt journal so that you can identify when those imposter thoughts start to come in, right? Then obviously your success journal or your success log, I need you to create that as well. So keep your success log. Speak your power. I'm big on affirmations. I'm big on affirmations. Each morning, stand in front of the mirror and say affirmations. I am successful. I am gorgeous. I am a winner. Whatever it is you need to say, you say it to yourself in front of the mirror. And here's another tip. High five yourself in the mirror. It sounds corny, I know, but there's a psychological thing behind it about high fiving yourself in the mirror. It makes you feel good. So high five yourself in the morning in the mirror and then say your affirmations. Next thing I need you to do, Morgan, this one is specifically for you because you don't like to do it. Talk about it. Share your imposter syndrome experience with a mentor, with a coach. Get yourself into a supportive community, okay? And the last thing I'm going to talk about on this action plan is take action. That is the most important thing. Take big, bold action. Now, pick one thing that you've been holding back on because of your self doubt. One thing. What is it you're holding back on? Maybe you're holding back on starting a business. Maybe you're holding back on calling an investor. Maybe you're holding back on launching that course, singing in public, speaking up in meetings, whatever it is that you're holding back on. Choose one thing and do it. That's it. Just take bold action and do it. Morgan says you're holding back on making friends. But Morgan, your network is your net worth. You need to have, and not everybody has to be a close friend. Not everyone has to be on that inner circle. But you can have acquaintances. You have different layers of friendship, okay? So definitely go out there and meet people and network because your network is your net worth. You never know. You might come across somebody that will be able to open up your career from you just from talking to someone and making a new friend, okay? So don't hold back there. Now, I love to end with a quote, and this is today's quote. So, you are not an imposter. You are not lucky. You are prepared, capable, and worthy of every success you have earned. The only person you need to convince is yourself. Now, this is just a reminder that imposter syndrome is a lie that we tell ourselves, okay? This quote really challenges the idea that success is purely based on luck or on external factors. Listen, you have worked hard and earned everything that you have achieved. And you've done that through preparation, through effort, and through skill. The only person that doesn't seem to believe that is you. The only person that you need to convince is yourself. The real battle isn't with the world, okay? The real battle is with your own mind. It's you versus you. Often, others will see your brilliance long before you do. A mentor will always see how amazing you are before you see it in yourself. And the moment you truly believe in your worth, imposter syndrome loses its power. So, the final takeaway this evening is you don't need permission to be successful. You are already successful. You already belong. All you need to do is own it. Okay, all you need to do is own your success. You already belong. Nobody needs to give you permission. Now, before I sign off, I want to give you an invite to join my exclusive group. This is a school group. I think most of you are probably in there. Morgan, you need the link to join. And this group is designed for you if you're ready to take control of your confidence, if you're ready to build up your identity, if you're ready to reclaim your identity, even if you're ready to unlock new income streams, it's all within that group. Okay, so there's a load of videos in there. Once you get into the group, introduce yourself, tell us who you are, what your goals are, what you want to do, and then head on up to the classroom. It's right at the top. Head to the classroom and you will find hours and hours and hours of motivational videos and strategies there for you. Okay, so make sure you are in that group. As I said, I am big on affirmations, and this is the affirmation I want you to take away. Screenshot it, share it on your social media, tag me in it as well. So, the affirmation that I want you to take from this is I am capable, I am worthy, I belong. My success is not a mistake. I have earned it, and I will own it with confidence. Okay, so that is what I would like you to take away from that session today. As I said, screenshot it, share it on your socials, share it on your WhatsApp status, but just share it. And most importantly, say it. Say it in the mirror every morning, every night as well. Look at yourself, look at your gorgeous face in the mirror and say it in the mirror, okay? Now, I've really enjoyed talking to you about breaking free and overcoming imposter syndrome, owning your success. Let me know what your biggest takeaways are. Let me know what your biggest takeaways are in the groups, and make sure you're following me on Instagram. Make sure you're following me on school as well. And if you're on the recording, remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Okay. If you would like to attend this session live, make sure you are in the school group. Look below in YouTube and you will find the link. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for being on the call. I just saw. So would you say you don't suffer at all with imposter syndrome anymore? The thing is, right? I Imposter syndrome sneaks in, but I now have the tools that I can recognize when it's coming in, I can deal with it. So as soon as I can feel some imposter syndrome seeping in, I'm gonna make a call to my mentor and I'm like, listen, this is what's happening with me. And my mentor will then reassure me, so I have the tools. I also have my success jar where I put all of my wins in and I can go back and I can read my successes. I have my achievements up here on the wall behind me. That some of them behind me up here on the wall. I have my master's degree certificates and stuff. I have those up as well so that I can see my achievements all around me. So I know how to deal with it. And that's where I want all of you on this call to get to as well. I want you to be in a place where you can recognize when imposter syndrome is setting in and you can nip it in the bud just like that. Because now something very drastic has happened to me for those to creep in. Okay? It has to be something like massive has to happen for imposter syndrome to creep in. So I hope that answered your question, Morgan. I hope that answered your question. Repeating in front of the mirror morning and bedtime affirmations. Amazing, Simon. I love that. I love that. Well done. I'm going to just 1 second. I'm going to just stop the recording now. No, did I stop the recording? There you go.